What's up, everyone? This is Peter Morla, and in this segment I'm going to be talking about the event that took place today, and that was at the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian. It's located in the city, right on Bowling Green, across from Battery Park. So today was a special event that was organized by the presenters there at the Museum of the American Indian at Bowling Green, and the event was called Taino Symposium, in conversation with the movement. So the event was divided into 3 sessions, and it discussed a number of topics that concerned the Taino movement, and it also opened up a dialogue for those who wanted not only to learn about the movement, but also to gain an understanding of the cultural past of the Caribbean. So what I'm going to do here is just to give my thoughts and a brief summary of the event, so that people can use this to help to get a better understanding in some of the themes that was presented today in that event. So here it goes, and I'm going to start. It was a day where those within the movement, both old school and new, sat down to listen about the impact and legacy of the cultural movement. Representatives from the Taino community and scholars sat down to speak to the people in regards. There was an introduction about the early history of the movement. The various topics that was discussed was a recalling of Taino consciousness and indigeneity, the significance of the powwow culture, revisiting Taino spirituality, the relationship of contemporary culture and times, language recovery efforts, and most of all, DNA research. In my opinion, the symposium opened up a dialogue and interest for the people and global community to seek to get a understanding of the Caribbean's historical past and the connection the modern descendants of this region has within it. Colonization brought about evolutionary changes, and along with it, an obscurity of the region's cultural past. So we're talking about the island chain, the islands of the Greater Antilles, including the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Dominica, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago. All of those islands together, talking about the historical legacies of those islands along with its modern descendants, and seeking to understand all of those things. In reference to this as a cultural movement, I reference this as a cultural movement because as cultural advocates, we seek to gain a better understanding of this cultural legacy, to understand our own lives a little better. And this is what the presenters attempted to do today, in my opinion. A few other topics also came to mind with this. Understanding migration and population history. As Taino descendants, we seek to understand the legacy of the island's past, so that we can value the legacies of Caribbean indigeneity. The topic of DNA was discussed. It was discussed that modern Caribbean people have indigenous ancestry, while also acknowledging admixture each of us have. This is from the second session. They talk about DNA analysis from the Bahamas and from the bones in the caves and somewhere in the Bahamas, I don't remember where. They talk about tracing the genome from one of the tubes, and from that they have found out that the analysis from this has traced the genome to northern South America. The event was a packed house. It was live streamed by the museum. In each session, at the end, there was a question and answer. And there was definitely a great interest for the people wanting to learn more. So closing out, some of the conversations dragged, but it was with good intentions. It's important, in my opinion, to look at this as a cultural movement and revival to understand the region's indigenous legacy, so that we, both elderly and young, can seek a balanced way to honor it. The program today opened the doors for this, in my opinion. So this is my take on the event. I will be posting clips from it, and sometime later in the month, the museum will be releasing the full program in its entirety along with subtitles. So it was pretty good. I think they did a good job putting the program together. It was live streamed by the museum, which is great. So people that who weren't able to be there, they were able to watch it at home. So overall, it was good. They have the exhibit that's there for a whole year, and if more interest generates, possibly it can be there longer. So this is Peter Morla, and until the next bill, Taino.